So I want to show you guys one of the most powerful features of PowerZone Connect Pro and Control Center is the ability to utilize mix buses, which is extremely powerful. So let's dive in and take a look. So where do you find mix buses? Very simple. Make sure you're on the input module, click mix, and that'll give you access to your buses. Now, I am on a 600.2, so I have access to 2 mix buses, okay? Let's set these up. Now, immediately, you can see all of the inputs associated with each bus, right? And to activate it or send signal, you would just raise the volume for that input. Now, let's name these mixes. We'll have a house mix. And then on the second one, we'll call it speaker. Cool. So now we have those 2 mix buses loaded. And then once you are cool with how it looks and how it's set up, you can actually raise the volume depending on the inputs that you're using, and those are good to go. So now you can assign those to a zone or even utilize the PDIF output to send that entire bus out of the amplifier. So let's go to zone, and then what we'll do is we'll assign one of our mix buses to a zone. So in this case, we're in zone A, we are in the dining room, and I'm gonna go down on primary input and then select house mix, right? So now you have all those inputs coming in, being summed and outputted to that local zone. How about B? Well, let's give B a mix. So we'll click on B, we'll go down to primary input, and then we'll select speaker, right? So that zone may only be used for a certain speaker during that time. You can also treat them as almost like a preset input or an input preset, where let's say you have a wall M actually controlling the zone, and most of the day you're using an iPod, but then a loudspeaker comes in, or a speaker, and you would just select speaker as that input, and then the microphone would get active, and then maybe the music would actually be dropped down. The other cool thing is you can set priorities. So depending on what you're doing here, you can use a mix bus as a priority, right? Or actually triggering that priority override depending on that application. And last but not least, you can send that mix bus out of the amplifier to anywhere you want, right? It could be another amplifier, it could be an active subwoofer, whatever you want to do. If you just go to settings, output routing, and then select the source, you can then select your mix, for example, house mix, and there you go. You can send it out of the preamp. So super cool and useful feature. There's a lot of different ways you can use mix buses. And yeah, we'd love to hear about them, but yeah, give it a shot and check it out.